What it do, Durag Nation? Marvel's Wolverine is canceled. At least that's what many people on social media want you to believe after the game once again failed to show up at a PlayStation event, and this time was also absent from Summer Game Fest. People are so convinced this game is canceled, they're even arguing with employees of Insomniac about it. It's so funny that everyone is saying the game is canceled except Insomniac, the studio making the game, and Sony, the studio paying for the game. And it's Sony we have to talk about today because they have just given us an update on Marvel's Wolverine's release window, once again confirming it's not canceled. So today on Super News, I'll quickly break down what they said and talk about when to expect the next Marvel's Wolverine trailer. First, Hulk smash that like button so YouTube shares the good news, or change it to a dislike if the video was dog water. The most important thing people seem to be forgetting is that Insomniac was hit with arguably the worst cyber attack in the history of the video game industry. Anyone who works in tech could tell you a major security breach can set you back for months. In the case of a video game launch, it can be the difference between a game releasing in late 2024 or 2025 to late 2025 or even 2028. But because Wolverine was already fairly far along and Insomniac are built different, the game is still on track to release only 2 years after the launch of Spider-Man 2. Shout out to Marvel Fan on Twitter for this find. PlayStation Studios updated its list of tentpole franchises separated by fiscal year, starting in 2021 with Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo 7 to current year 2025 with Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yōtei, then continuing with Naughty Dog's Intergalactic and, of course, Insomniac's Marvel's Wolverine. Now, according to Jason Schreier, Intergalactic won't be out in 2026 and will be targeting fiscal year 2027, which makes sense because according to the creator of the game, Neil Druckmann, it's only been in development for the last 4 years. That leaves a big opening for fiscal year 2026. CEO of PlayStation Studios Herman Holtz recently confirmed they are committed to releasing at least one big single-player game every year. Their graphic of tentpole releases didn't include Soros, the latest game from Housemarque, which is scheduled to release in 2026, probably because even though Returnal was really good, it wasn't a high-profile release for Sony, so it appears it will be joined in 2026 by the launch of Marvel's Wolverine. Wolverine not being at the State of Play was disappointing, but ultimately made sense. They typically only showcase 1 or 2 first-party games at State of Plays, and they chose this one to promote Ghost of Yōtei since it's already available for pre-order and due out in October. Ghost is getting a dedicated State of Play next month, which nobody would be talking about if Wolverine had been at the show. Insiders are already speculating Sony has a proper showcase scheduled for around September, and we know from leak guy Jeff Grubb they were previously considering having the showcase in May or June before deciding on a smaller State of Play. With the large amount of potential first-party releases that weren't at the State of Play, they have more than enough material for a PlayStation showcase, which so far has happened every other year. They've yet to skip 2 years in a row. I'd expect Marvel's Wolverine to show up there with gameplay and a release date. But that's not the only thing Insomniac is cooking up. We recently found out they're looking to add multiplayer to one of their upcoming projects, which as far as we know are all Marvel related. Click the video on screen to learn more.